Oh, we are so back. Wanted to say a quick thank you to everyone who supported our first launch and purchased Banana Blitz. It was so fun to make and see people enjoying with their friends when it was released. For those of you who played it, we'd really appreciate it if you also left a review as well so we know what to work on going forward. Now we are on to our next game, something that is very different from the party game approach we took with the first game. We wanted to make a premium idle game, meaning no in-game purchases, and learn how to make a scalable system of skills and abilities as creating unique and interesting builds, as some of our favorite parts of our favorite games are these unique combinations. Now let's jump into it. This is Gnaw and Order, our current working title, our idle roguelike auto battler where we construct a pack of rats using different skills, gambling techniques, and even a stock market to travel across a post-apocalyptic wasteland. So let's break down a bit what we've done so far.
A lot of our early development time has been working on a scalable system for abilities. We started by designing different classes, like for example, a scientist that uses post-apocalyptic survival skills to turn himself into a wizard. We even made different classes for these characters, so the wizard focused on tech, frost, or even radiation. Then came to actually making this system.
Wait. No.
After a lot of trial and error, we came up with a scriptable object building block type system that goes a little like this. Say you want to make a poison cluster bomb ability. You would go and start with your foundation. A bomb blows up, usually does some damage, so we'll start off with our damage base. Then we'll look at what type of bomb it is. Since we want to create a poison bomb, we can attach a poison modifier effect to our base. Some bombs even set people on fire, so we could even add that on there if we wanted to. Lastly, we want it to spawn other bombs when it activates. To do that, we'll create another skill and stack it on top of our initial damage base. When activated, all of this will happen at the same time. We do this through having a list on it so we can combine different skills exactly like how we wanted to with this example.
But we didn't stop there. We decided we wanted to make it even more complicated.
Shit, buddy, I gotta dig a little deeper. There's no Pepe Sylvia, you gotta be kidding me! I got boxes full of Pepe!
So we added passives that modify the skills, loop, or other systems in our game. If we wanted to add a passive to all bombs to make them deal more damage, we would apply a passive that does just that. Rather, instead of carving out the base scriptable object skill to make that change, as that would make it a permanent change, we would instead be making a copy of our poison bomb with an upgraded damage that deals 10 more damage, which saves during runtime. Of course, we could also make the passives give more effects to the party, such as causing plague damage to heal, increasing demand in the stock market, or even adding more slots to the engine loop. With the base of this complete, we have been toying with the idea of taking these abilities and conjoining them with other abilities. This will mean we can make an unfathomable amount of skills and passives that you could create during gameplay and use, hopefully making each run fun, exciting, and our favorite part, unique each time. Currently at the moment, we've designed 180 unique passives, and those are just without combination, so there will be a lot more in the future.
So, once we've created all these abilities, how does one use them and still keep the flavor of an auto battler game? I'm glad you asked. In our game, the way you use these abilities is on a giant Mad Max-like engine. The engine loop will run through all of your abilities, activating them based on their properties, dealing damage to your enemies, or healing your team, buffing your team, or a whole host of other unique effects. Setting this engine up like a stack of dominoes is where we hope to see a lot of satisfying outcomes.
Like Sawyer said, the players can use these abilities on something like a Mad Max engine that keeps running the skills in a loop. Let me give you guys a quick rundown of how the players get these skills and how they can upgrade and combine them to put them on the engine, and then how we proceed to test these skills. When the players start playing, they will have an option to buy packs from the store, which will give the players characters of different classes, skills, and different kinds of equipment. You get stuff from packs, but for testing purposes, I assigned active and passive skills in the hierarchy. Now, the player can assign their character's class, which spawns the skill tree of your allies, the NPC characters. The player can assign skills from the inventory to the skill tree, which allows these skills to be unlocked and used in the loop, which is the engine. Players can also combine the skills using the skill combiner. However, the combined skill instances are created in the game itself and do not exist in the project. Therefore, they need to be saved individually as well as be limited to one combination. Initially, we did plan on making skills to be able to be combined multiple times, but after some thought, we realized that not only did it remove strategic planning from the user, as it would incentivize just to keep combining one skill over and over, but more importantly, it would make testing for balance and bugs almost impossible for every combination. With the sheer number of skills we have, it's best to have it this way for balancing. The testing after this is pretty much getting different skills, using different combinations in the skill tree and the skill combiner, and constantly trying new stuff in the loop and seeing if everything works. Balancing will come later, but the main priority right now is to make sure that everything is working. The major thing to look out while testing is if any skill or combination would cause any error. If not, it's just a matter of endlessly looking at numbers pop up on your screen and figuring out how to balance it all out.
On top of all this, we've also had time to add some fun supporting systems, some of which we even mentioned earlier. We have equipment that lets you customize your party members to increase your stats, but like our abilities, you can actually combine the similar equipment to create new pieces that inherits the stats of the two that were used to create it, with a chance to even increase a few of the stats on the equipment. We also know being able to sell stuff in games is an important aspect. We know that can be a little boring on its own, so to make it more interesting, we made a stock market that lets you sell things in more interesting ways. Each time you defeat an enemy, the market generates new demands for items, raising and lowering the prices. Another fun little thing we added in is magic floating nuclear rats that when clicked, they pop and give you rewards just like a fun little piñata. Right now they just contain either coins, tokens, or random equipment, but we may add other things in that you get from them like temporary boosts in the future. If you have any ideas you'd like to see in these guys too, just let us know. To top it all off, we also made a mini game to fit the theme of our game. We needed a way to generate another type of currency to be used that would let us combine skills, as we wanted that to feel a lot more satisfying. In the minigame, use a gear shifter to try and reach higher combos by shifting the gear in time. The higher the combo, the more currency you get and the faster the loop moves. Of course, in games that have idle mechanics, we also need a way to make it so that you don't have to keep playing the minigame forever. So we added an automatic mode, kind of like an automatic manual in a car. It's simple, but it's really satisfying to play, and that's even without adding the juice in.
Well, that has been our first month of development essentially. We're now setting our sights on making everything a little bit more visually appealing.
You're drinking the juice. You're fever. Oh no, fever.
With all the juice that we can add. We're also looking to make an obscene amount of combinations of abilities and test the meta upgrade system. Keep in mind, most of this work was a lot of back-end work and setting up the foundation, so visually the game isn't where we want it right now. But check back in for our next video to see some visual improvements. If you would like to follow us and see more of our short-form day-to-day progress, you can follow us on our socials or even check out our Patreon where we go further in depth on how we're making everything work and show you all the bugs we create. If you would like more info on how we did any of the things we talked about in the video, feel free to ask in the comments. Also, don't forget to check out our last game, Banana Blitz. Thanks for watching.